That's what it is.
Per usual, this podcast is about fun and friendship and not yelling at each other. So,
Am I in for a treat tonight?
you might be. We also might be recording.
So
in other words, if you're related to me, then don't act like yourself for the next 45 or 50 minutes.
there you go.
I'm ready.
Oh, geez, there you go, me.
Did you play my
All right. I think we've started. Mark, have you cracked or no?
I did. I cracked, so we are
I think
official.
the music's probably already played by now. So this is the Ascertainers.
Of course,
We are
I played the music.
a podcast that is 65 episodes deep. The originator is Mark.
Good.
Say hi, Mark.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ascertainers.
Yes.
We have a special episode tonight
We have a bevy of guests.
because we have Jim's family on board tonight, and it's going to be
This is my
interesting.
remaining family. This is it.
This is it.
These are the sole survivors. It'll be down to one of us at the end to just pick over the carcass of the last one.
Who's gonna win?
Oh, that would be Mom.
I think at this pace, Mom will win. So that's good.
She
So
will.
what we have, I'm Jim. I'm the other ascertainer. We're going to introduce around the table some of our special guests tonight. We'll start with my brothers and end with my mom. Steve, you want to say hello?
Is it okay to use real names on this one?
Just not last names.
Okay.
Too bad.
no, okay.
Too bad.
Unless you want to be anonymous.
Too bad he already called you. Your
This is Anonymous Steve. Hi, everybody.
All right. Jeff?
middle son Jeff.
Jeff's my son.
Welcome.
Her son, not me. I'm the youngest
She's
of the
she's
three.
lady-
We're in order. Steve's the oldest. Jeff's the middle. I'm the youngest, which means I got away with everything with the parents, but got my ass kicked by my brothers. Welcome to the Ascertainers. And birthday girl,
And I'm so
Elron. Hold on. Wait for your applause. I'll introduce you. This lady you're about to hear is a saint of sorts. She is a positive influence on a whole lot of lives, even ours sometimes. And she is having a birthday on Wednesday. But by the time you hear this, she will be how many years old?
I'm going to be great at 88.
There, that's what we'll be
That
hearing
is
for the
great.
next year.
And
Yes.
I'm happy to
What's your name?
be Nana.
I'd be Nana. Oh, what's up?
That's funny. I always called her Nana. Now she's IB Nana.
I'd be Nana. Is that like E.B. Webb that wrote Charlotte's Web?
No,
Your name is Ellie.
my name is Ellie, short for Eleanor.
Hold
What's
on.
your middle name?
And my middle name is Greenwood. And
And what's the story behind Greenwood?
Sorry. Thanks, Mark.
George Washington's attending dentist was John Greenwood.
Who's that guy?
And supposedly he took out the remaining tooth in George Washington's mouth. This is true.
So he was a pretty good dentist.
His last tooth.
Did he give him the fake?
And at one point we thought we had it, but it's true.
We thought
It's-
we thought we had George Washington's last tooth because why wouldn't we?
Well,
But wouldn't he have
We
put it
sent a
under his
tooth
pillow
in.
for money?
John's family. He'd have been there.
no, but we really thought, my sister and I we were reading something and it talked about George Washington and his last tooth. My sister and I were going through things because my mom and dad, anyhow, we needed to go through their things. And we came across this document. And my sister, who's older than I am, but she's still here, she's 93.
Hi, Aunt Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. I don't know if you listen to Pod. Yeah, hi.
Anyhow, Sharon said, "Oh, I know where that tooth is." Well, we are scurrying around the dining room
Wait, how
table.
old are you when this is occurring?
We were there. It's after Nana died.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we
I don't
looked
recall
and we
that.
came across, are you ready? We came across this tooth.
And it was Papa's.
And we really
A lot of
thought
his
it was
dentures.
George Washington's tooth. And we even checked.
They even quit their jobs
No.
that day. They called up, hey, I got my lucky
No,
lottery
but
ticket
we
right
did
here.
call into the Smithsonian and ask about, and they said, sounds very interesting. Could you send it to us? Well, we didn't. So the rest.
What?
What? Hold on. I thought you did send it
The
in.
story I got was that tooth was in the Smithsonian. Oh, we've been
So
lying.
we'll never know if that
been-
was
we've been
really
lied
George
to.
Washington.
Where's the tooth?
I have it in a little wooden box.
No, you
that
don't.
says,
Okay, Mom, you've told us everything about all your
That
effects.
says George's tooth.
You're
It's a good story.
This was
Okay.
a secret you were keeping
all right,
from us?
Mom.
That you have it?
Why don't you? We can edit this part out. Why don't you tell us what really happened with the tooth?
This could
Seriously,
be a
because that can't
family-
be the real
a
story.
family
I
problem.
don't know. My arms are like
and
this. I feel like Chris Lindahl.
I should tell you though. I'm not sure. Yes, I know where it is. It's in a brown envelope, and I will.
You said you said it was in a box.
In a wooden box in an envelope.
Steve, do you know where that is? Wasn't she very
Oh,
specific?
yeah, it's in my house, up in the closet.
Oh, okay, there.
Actually, no, I don't know where
All
it
of a sudden,
is.
Steve
But-
bought a
But
plane.
I want to make. I want to make sure that you all. It's just a good story.
Well, what a great time to tell us. I mean, why
And
not?
about 24 other people that listen
But
to
what
the
if it
Ask
really
Gamers.
is his tooth? You got to
They said
no.
they cooled off real
They
quick.
said it was traveling.
Is it Aunt
It was
Sharon's?
traveling around.
Is it her Aunt Sharon's front tooth when she lost her
It was
front tooth?
traveling around in kind of an encasement, and this was just sitting among other things. It's just a fun story.
Okay,
But is it true?
next, Noah's Ark. What do we Mom had got a dog from Noah's Ark. It was a wolf. Who knew? I'm kidding. Just through her introduction, we learned about that she had a George Washington tooth. I think that's amazing.
It's time to end the show. I think the time's up.
And
Isn't
did
it?
you
Well,
did say your
and
name?
my grandfather.
Oh, it's because of your middle name.
My grandfather. It's my middle name, Greenwood, and my grandfather was George Washington Taylor. You didn't know that either.
So you are really old because that makes you a direct
George Washington Paler the Tailor?
because they were Irish.
I don't know where we're going with this, kids.
We have no
But
visual
we
on.
just made it out of introductions.
I think it's time to start
welcome
over.
to the Ascertainers. And I am wearing on my head a little frog thing that Mom saw online and said on Facebook, oh, I wish I had one of these. And two of her sons said, oh, we'll hook that up. It probably won't come from Jeff later, too, but I don't know.
I don't get out much.
So
I've
we have
never
5
seen it.
people. We only have 4 microphones. So with any luck, you guys cannot hear me. But
We can hear you.
I
I
think
can hear
we've
you.
situated from the wives episode. We found out that the mics are pretty good at picking stuff up. So, Mark, what do you got to say about any of this?
I don't know what to say now.
Yeah.
I can't follow a story like that. I have nothing famous in my background.
Which ex-president's tooth do you guys have?
I do have a deed signed by Theodore Roosevelt that was given to our family.
Oh, that's it?
He was a Democrat, Ellie.
Oh, but yours,
no.
But yours
He
is
isn't.
real? Okay, because we have a fake tooth.
No,
we have
it's
an
a real.
almost tooth.
Back when Theodore Roosevelt was president, he was
Right.
gifting land back to the Native Americans.
Yes.
And
And you guys
our
stole it?
parcel was signed by him.
Mark's got some Native American. I don't know if the whole rest of my clan knows that, but yeah.
I know that.
And you have it? Is it like framed?
Yeah, it is. I framed it. I found it sitting in my dad's stuff.
And
So
on
should
a
we pack our
wall, I
crap up
hope?
now and move out because of the deed? or-
Framed and on a wall?
No, it's framed in a closet.
No, it should be right as you come in your house.
It's in an envelope in a box.
Oh,
No,
Is there a-
I'm kidding.
is there a tooth?
No, Mark,
Is there a
in a
tooth?
box, in an envelope.
Next to the
Oh,
tooth,
It's in the box, in
or
an envelope.
on top of the tooth, or
No,
under the tooth?
we really truly do have it. So
And-
it's real.
Okay.
And that's impressive.
Yeah.
All right. Mom likes that. Yeah.
I'm trying
flicking
to-
my.
I don't have. I don't have
tell what I'm
anything
doing.
compared to that. Steve, what do you got? In
Nothing.
I got nothing really cool like that except I am the son of a lady who lied about a tooth for so many decades.
She never lied. It was a good
embellished.
story.
I think it's Sharon's tooth.
Tooth
To be
embellishment.
honest with you,
No,
No.
Sharon was of
it's on-
regular age.
it's on Sharon's tooth.
Okay.
They just
Favorite
called it.
moments in Nana's basement. Yeah, good.
I got one.
Oh, that was you? I thought you're Tommy's.
I got one.
I
I'll
said
never-
part of his name.
I thought you were talking
Steve,
about.
you go first.
Nope, I'm going to go last on
Replacements.
this one.
All right, I'm all ears.
I'm going to go last. Well, you might not want to have your ears open when
I'll
I
go
my
last.
story.
I got a
No,
Petey the
Steve
squirrel
said he's going
situation.
last, so you guys fight that out amongst. I'll go. So, Nana and Papa, and this is the original Nana and Papa to me.
grandma and grandpa.
My mom and dad.
It was Nana and Shirley.
Would be
and
grandparents,
It was
both of
Shirley
them.
and Alan.
right.
Nana
Okay.
and Papa.
Yeah.
And in their basement, they had a pool table. And there was a little short wall that you had to use a little cheater stick. But I'll never forget, as long as I live, we were rocking out to Peter Frampton with his,
Yeah, with
what do you
the
call
voice
that?
box.
Voice box. We were just, and it would have been about 74. I'd have been about, I don't think it was, probably 10. It was probably 10.
I got a calculator.
72.
You were born in 62.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks.
May
I'm sure you
13th.
remember that because I was your favorite child. I was the easiest childbirth you had. And I was born on Mother's
And
Day.
Dad didn't even claim. The nurse brought you out.
Claim
and-
me? He didn't. He didn't
And
claim
she
me.
said, "Oh, Mr. Dunn, you have a nice baby boy." And Dad says, "Well, I don't think that's ours. We just got here." Because for Steve, it was 15 hours of labor.
So I was the easiest of your children
I
all the
got
way
you.
till now.
I
even.
don't. I
Jeff
don't.
was in the car. Yeah, hey, what about me?
Let's go.
1976, it would have been.
Yeah.
So you would have been 13.
14.
That's on his first album.
Or 14, yeah, you're right. I would have been 13.
Okay. Maybe
All right,
it
so
wasn't.
your moment was 'cause
That
this
was
is,
Just
Pat-
down
Peter
in the
Frampton
basement.
we're trying to
Company.
keep this one under 2 hours
Okay,
here.
sorry.
So
Okay, so-
yours is rocking out playing pool.
down in the basement.
Okay.
Listen to the
Cincinnati,
cassette player.
Ohio.
How many times did you have to play with the short stick? I mean,
A
there
lot.
was
The
so
short
many
stick
basements
came into
with that.
play.
There was two things. There was the corner of the wall, and there was also the post at the under end.
Yeah,
of the
there
table.
were. It was like
You
literally
needed-
like a
the-
4
the-
feet long.
This was
of that.
it was a well-used stick. You used it all the time.
Everybody's basement had that. With the pool table had that little short.
Well, this
stick.
this basement was like an unfinished basement,
It was smaller than this basement, and this. Is
They
not
all
big.
were in
but
the
with
70s.
like this concrete floor. It was somehow the table was pretty level.
Well, it all sloped to the floor drain big time, and the shims under that one leg were like 2 inches tall. It was
Steve, what about you?
Well,
Okay.
Mom.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
I'm all ears.
Well, not
Oh, here,
only
you wanna put this on?
not
Put this
only
on.
was there a pool table down there, but there was the washing machine, the dryer,
Oh,
and there was this strange bathroom
Oh, Papa would use.
that had that.
the toilet and the shower were in the
Whose
same.
story is this, anyways? I'm trying to remember.
All right.
Okay.
I'll shut up.
So,
Boys.
anyways, the bathroom had a toilet
And a shower.
and a shower,
That's it.
and I don't
You're getting
remember a
shushed.
sink. A sink
No,
might
it's
have been
outside on the
outside.
right to the
Yeah.
left of the door.
Well, as Jim just alluded to, Papa would use that bathroom down there. And one day we were down there doing whatever we were doing, playing pool or whatever. And Papa says, I'm going to take a shower. And he goes in there. And for whatever reason, he walks out stark naked.
Starcast naked.
Walks like over to the side of the room to get something and then goes back in there
Like
with nothing on.
he was at the country club.
He was totally naked. And
Striking.
it
By the
did.
way, the guy was fit. The guy was in shape.
Wow.
I got to admit, I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
pull it off.
Were you down there for that, Jim?
I don't remember.
Oh well.
Were you there
My
for that?
therapist says I told them I was, but then they hypnotized me and I don't remember. So
Anyways, that
yes,
was.
I was.
That was.
And then he kind of carried the towel. He didn't even cover himself up with
Yeah,
the towel.
he just was
No,
like
no.
nobody was there doing his thing, and nobody said a word. I think it was like
I feel
we
like
were
the
all-
music stopped too. I just, or at least in my head, we were probably listening to Kansas Left Overture, which, by the way, is a real
I know.
signature basement song down there. I think it just went like, hurt, even though it was on an 8-track. It felt like the needle came across, and then there's
But it was
old Papa in all his grandeur.
Are you happy that you're on?
Oh, we haven't got to my story yet.
Well,
that one shocked her a little bit.
I just know Peter Frampton wasn't playing during that.
I didn't know any of this.
Beanbag set of butt cheeks.
Out of respect for Mom, I could add more to the story, but I'll leave it there. I don't want to.
With your grandpa naked?
Yeah.
Well, do you want me to keep going?
Oh,
I don't know. Do I?
Well, that was it. He went back in, dried off.
I can get Mark wants to say something, but after that, I've got a little sorbet for
No,
you.
go ahead.
I'm done.
Wipe that memory right out of your mouth there.
We did already talk, so go ahead.
So, what was the name of the little squirrel that used to come and get a peanut from
the
Nana?
back porch out of the kitchen?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think it was Petey. Ooh, that looks very much more like a different appendage than an ear. It looks like a little more angry than an ear.
We did have squirrels that would come, and they liked peanuts, pecans,
Right.
anything. They would literally come.
But didn't you name one of them Petey or whatever? And it was Petey, or maybe it was Nana that named it Petey the
When
squirrel.
you were growing up,
he would
Mom.
come up and when we were little kids,
I don't think we named the squirrel.
or maybe there was so many squirrels. Anyway, I thought there was one called Petey.
I don't.
And
recall.
what's weird is that before I knew that my whole family was going to be on this podcast, I wrote down a note
What?
that said, because I saw something online about there was a little squirrel's nest with little baby squirrels in that. And then I thought, no, they were really little. They were little and they were. But
He was cupping his hand
Don't
and
worry, it
putting
gets
his
worse.
fingers together.
it
for
gets
those
worse.
who
Has
can't
anybody
see.
ever seen squirrels have sex? Because that tail's got to be up in the way. I just thought, do squirrels do it like that tail is? There's no way.
No,
Anyway.
they do it like rabbits.
Has that been? You've been losing sleep over this?
A little bit, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you,
I can't even get a thought complete during the day.
Oh, Bob is just thoroughly disgusted.
This
He
look
is
of consternation on
absolutely
my face is like,
disgusted.
what have I done wrong? Where did I go wrong with this kid?
what other trauma happened to him?
I have a master's in child development. What is wrong here?
It's I have to say though, in all honesty,
Jim is crazy.
no,
Yes. Yes.
in growing up with them all, with under 4 years of age and then going on, I have to say, I lived through it.
Could you imagine, Mark?
That was it? I thought you were going to have something really...
that's quite an accomplishment.
So, Mark, you've had children. Could you imagine
He
you and
still
your wife?
does.
Mark's got siblings.
I said your family with boys, 3, 4, and 5. 3 boys, 3, 4,
Right.
and then 3 boys at 4, 5, and 6, and just keep going. 8, 9, and 10. Those 3 years, I'm sure, Mother, you have some stories of us. I've told the story a million times when we were driving to Nana's.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
From Rochester, Minnesota to Cincinnati, Ohio, for context.
In the 68 Plymouth wagon. 68 with the wood grain size. Remember that, baby? Oh, yeah. 383. Nice car.
But Dad was driving.
Always drove. You never drove.
The
because you
8,
probably
9, or
sucked.
11-year-old
13
kids weren't driving?
13 straight hours.
So remember, we would
I'm
fold.
like that also.
So, Mark, we would fold the back seat down.
Right?
And then then lay sleeping bags out. And us 3 boys, heaven forbid we'd wear a seatbelt,
We're
laid
not.
out in the back. And tell the story when we're going through Chicago and Dad was getting a little pissy with us screwing around the back of the car. When he
Was that the time he
Oh,
stopped the car? He really on the seat. He
Side
didn't hit
and-
them on the head or shoulder.
no.
He spanked him.
He
He
did.
gave us
and
Mark,
you know what?
He gave us a spanking.
And then-
we got a spanking.
And then, but that was so unlike.
Time that he lined up Steve in the rearview mirror and whacked him. That's been talked about
Yeah.
on other podcasts. That was a
Really?
thing of beauty.
And I didn't even know about it.
Probably hit you so hard you don't remember it, and that's how you do it. You don't,
I don't even
Mark?
remember that.
Was
And,
I in a meeting? I didn't know that.
Was you in a meeting?
Oh, another one of these stories like Jim being on the swim team that nobody remembers. So anyway, we won't go into that.
I'll
But
never live it.
I will say that we were probably the trucker's delight because in the back of that station wagon, because it was like, oh, okay, put your jammies on, and in that day jammies were taking goddamn pants and shoes off, and
No,
you got
you were in sleepers. with
underwear
little footies.
and t-shirt, And then let's see if the truckers want to honk at you. It's like, oh God, oh no.
We spent the
What
whole road
message
trip.
were we sending those truckers?
Save
Because they
us.
were very eager to hoo-hoo.
It was all innocent back then.
And they followed us into the truck stop. And, I got some cool
Wow.
jewelry. Was not a fan of the jewelry.
No, Dad put up with us in the car. I don't know how the road trips were.
We've talked about,
With the pull
here's the
behind
thing. We've
Bethany
talked about
Papa.
some of this stuff before. Dad going 70 with the wide mouth thermos thing on his knee and a white owl in his fingers. And nobody knew who was steering, but he was going 80. All that kind of shit. But I thought stuff, malarkey. So I have a couple of things. One
Let's do
is
the radio game real quick before we
Okay.
get into other things. And
I
picked
think
out.
I
So,
learned. He's the leader. Okay, Mark.
okay,
Mark's the leader.
Thank you.
You want me to tell what the radio game is, or do you want to do it?
Do you have something to say, Mom?
I'm all ears.
You do.
Well, hang on. First,
Our
we have to
guest
say
Ellie is wearing the
Hold on.
ear pop-up thing right now. That
We
Jim
were giving
gave me.
we gave our mom a little frog hood that has ears that can be lifted by little pumps. I can't wait to hear what this sounds like when, because as I'm looking at it, she has a little thing.
Oh, you do hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's air. The ears are flipped up by air, which is delivered by a little bulb of
They
air.
use this on the space
And
shuttle.
actually, it's not ears, it's its eyes.
Oh, those are eyes. Oh, so it's like when you put a firecracker.
Give her,
it's
give her a
the
kick.
eyes.
Exactly.
You're
Exactly.
right. It is eyes, not ears.
I know, frogs. Well, Mom, why?
Way to correct
Mom,
him,
why?
Mom.
I
Well, you
said-
don't want to know what
why?
you're squeezing then to make those ears go up.
Mom, you know
Let's just
why?
say it's probably a boy frog.
Mom,
My goodness.
you know why it's not his ears, right? And frogs don't have ears.
Oh,
They
come
don't
on.
have any ears.
They have internal ears. Think of ear just fine.
I'm-
All right, so the radio game
Can't flip a
an ascertainer's classic.
Yeah, it's a staple of our podcast.
Everyone looks forward to it.
I'm all eyes.
There's only one. There's only one reigning champion at a time, and right now it's me, Jim. So
Okay.
I'll describe it. And what it is each person on the podcast will name 4 bands. We won't go into the granularity of the composition of said bands because Mark's looking up granularity right now.
I was just going to ask. what
But
the hell is
and then for
granularity?
tonight,
I thought it was a farm.
we have
What
a
is
com-
granularity, Mark?
we
What
have
is
a
that?
combined effort for Mom. So Mom is in on the radio game too. So Mom will probably win the radio game. So thanks for pointing the mic my way, Mom. That's really
I
important.
want,
Did she get 4 bands?
Yeah, we got them down. I'm her proxy.
All right, go.
So
with it.
why don't we just do all 4 at a time? Steve, you go ahead.
Fleetwood Mac,
Oh, God dang it.
Ozzy Osbourne, Styx, and ZZ Top.
I think there's a winner in there, Jeff.
Well, no.
Do you have did you pick one of yours?
I had one of them. I got Springsteen, ZZ, REO, and The Doors.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, Mom went with Journey because we love her. Chicago Rush and Thin Lizzy.
All right, mine are from my wife's brother. We didn't record last weekend because I was on a motorcycle trip. I went down and stayed with my brother-in-law.
So you actually
So-
saved his choices and are now.
Yeah, he gave me.
You're the best man on
8
the planet,
bands.
Mark.
So-
You just are.
He's a musical savant, more than Jim. He knows more about music than I was trying to impress him with my musical knowledge.
Jim
And he'd
doesn't.
go, "Well, did you know this? Did
Yeah.
you know that?" I was thinking, "No, quit it." But his were legacy bands were the Beatles and Zeppelin,
Oh, we didn't. I didn't split mine up.
Just Mark and I do this. It's all-
and then his lesser knowns were ELO and gave me a couple. I'm going to pick out Loverboy.
okay.
Almost did Lover Boy. and
Granularity is the fact that Mark and I do like some old time bands and then some weird fun stuff. I went with, and I have a little sentimentality to my list too tonight, so bear with me. With the Who, Van Halen, Billy Thorpe, because it reminds me of my buddy Ange,
Children
and
of the Sun.
because Children of the Sun, and my buddy Ange, who you know, and everyone at this table knows, probably my best friend in the world. His mom died.
Oh no, sorry, Ange.
And
I'm going
sorry
with,
sorry for your loss.
This
Andy.
is a. I did not make that up, Mom. She passed away.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad. Well, it's not sad. It's a relief because she was very riddled with dementia. But she was born in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. She met her husband was from Amboy, New Jersey. I went with Ted
Amboy
Nugent
Dukes.
and the Amboy Dukes.
I love
Arlene,
it.
Ooh,
you'll be missed.
That was
So,
pretty
Mark,
huge.
Steve, throw one of those earbuds in because we don't trust Mark anymore. You get to listen to.
I'm sitting next to a guy like that.
No, just listen to what song's on.
Wasn't I able to say a band?
Yo, we
no,
did
we
yours for
picked
you.
them for you, Mom.
I know, but
Did you think you were gonna- were you gonna pick-
dance to this band, the Stan Kenton band?
Okay,
if,
Karen.
if it's Dan Kenton, we'll give it to her.
And in the
Go ahead,
Commercial?
Mark.
Moonlight
Rolling
Gardens
Stones.
in
Yep.
Cincinnati.
We
She's so
missed the
cold.
Stones.
Stones.
Who had the Stones?
Nobody. As per usual.
Can you believe that?
Wait
Yeah,
a minute.
that's-
I've won this game twice.
Oh, okay. Well, did you win
Well,
tonight?
you're a loser tonight.
All right. 4th of July. By the
Now
time
you know what it feels like.
by the time this airs, this will be next week, which is right before the 4th of July. I thought we'd do 4th of July memories if anyone's got any. Fireworks stories.
I got
Whether or not you let your kids do fireworks. Back when we were kids, I think there was just sparklers and snakes, right?
And snap them with caps.
All the things you whip down on the ground.
No.
No, caps.
That's
You know,
not a firework.
cap-
that's the
cap gun.
shittiest firework ever. That's for a cap gun.
You would
But of
hit
course, we would take the whole roll and hit it with a hammer or a
it. Yeah,
brick.
that's what we. I think
Hey,
that's what Mom was-
fireworks.
I think that's what Mom was talking about.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah,
All right,
taking a
so-
nail and
All right. So my childhood memory of fireworks, there were ladyfingers and black cats. I think they were the same thing. It's
M80s.
sparklers. I always heard about M80s, but until I met Dale in the neighborhood, I didn't really experience an M80. I don't think.
Yeah, we used to get them up north when we used to go up to the reservation.
You could get
in the
burned on
summer.
those.
Get blown up on those.
Yeah.
Mom, what about you? When you were a kid, did they have like fireworks around the 4th of July?
What was the most radical thing you did on the 4th of July, Mom, that you knew that your parents would not be impressed?
And you can say it on the podcast.
Because they're dead.
No,
And we got their teeth.
I do
That's
not
George
recall
Washington.
doing something. I don't recall the 4th of anything of the
Did
4th,
any big-
except Mr.
Oh.
Next Door.
Which side?
And it was the 4th.
Which
of
side?
July.
When you walk out the
Which
front door,
house?
left or right?
which
You
house?
look at the house to the right. And
Oh, he had the prickliest grass of anyone.
And he had
He was right on the corner.
a real gun, and he was shooting bullets. And my mom
Where was he shooting? In the air?
Up in the air, yeah, hopefully. Or at children.
really, she just about called the police because that's dangerous.
I agree.
I remember sparklers and not a whole lot. We didn't do a whole lot.
They had sparklers back then. I wonder what those are made
Can I
out of.
ask a question?
Yes.
Was he a drinker?
Miss,
Yeah.
really recall.
You've
No.
got to be pretty drunk, you would think, to go out and start shooting into the air.
We all want to do it. We just know that you should not do that.
No. I'm
What would
not-
be better? Like, oh, he's a drunk, that's okay, or he's not a drunk.
No, it's
Oh,
not
God.
okay either way, but at least you have an idea
Why?
why he did
Mindset of a guy doing that.
All right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark, what about
Back
you?
then.
4th of July.
Nothing.
You live by St. Anthony Mean, that's by the river. Was there great spectacular fireworks shows
We did
It's
nothing
set off on
Fourth-
River? What was it called? River Place or?
Is this?
Yeah, but I lived in St. Anthony Village. There's St. Anthony Park, there's St. Anthony Main, and there's St.
no,
Anthony
right behind me.
Village.
Okay. Right there.
So there are three different places.
Yeah, in there.
Well,
Oh, where the hell's St. Anthony Village?
Right between Roseville, Columbia Heights,
Right on
New
the
Brighton.
river.
My
Right on
bad.
the river.
This is a bad 66 episode that I realized Mark and I were neighbors.
I just have to ask a question. You were talking about the topic for next week, and now you're
Bye,
talking
Jeff.
about it.
No, by the time that this episode airs, it will be next Friday, and that's the Friday before the 4th of July.
I put them out a
I
week later.
gotcha. I gotcha.
All right. Well, it's good to be got. I'll tell you that right now.
Because I say stupid
What-
things, so I
what
have
is
to
that,
edit
honey?
that out.
Steve, you're
No, it's a beer, Mom.
Steve has bought a firework or two in his life.
I have, but we're talking about childhood ones, aren't
Well,
we?
no, we're talking in general.
But no injuries
Oh, in
at the
general.
table.
Well, I've got. No, well,
I never had any close calls. I
How
know
about
a neighbor that had a very
childhood
close call,
and then most
almost
memorable?
lost his entire head.
Bob doesn't have any memories. I'll just. Silver Lake, we're from Rochester.
That's where you go
Grew up in
watch.
Rochester, and there's a lake down there called Silver Lake, kind of on the northeast side of town, off of Broadway, and a lot of geese hang out there used when we were kids. And anyways, that's where the fireworks shot off from. And I think we've tried a bunch of different places, but I think Northern Heights up that hill there. We parked there one time, and what I remember about that one is that Dad had to teach us something. Our dad. That we'd see the light
Yep.
and wouldn't hear the boom until later.
Right.
And he said, count 1001, 1002, and then boom, whatever that number is at.
Yeah.
He claimed that's how many thousands of feet that
Yes.
was away from you.
Because sound travels at 1,000
Yeah,
feet
Well,
per
and
second.
light.
But
Yes, it was.
on a lighter note, I would occasionally, I live in Egan, and I would occasionally head over to Wisconsin when Mike was little. Like
Mike is Steve's oldest
Mike
son.
is my oldest, well, he's my only son, but my oldest kid. And I'd pick up some big ones, some
Thumpers.
whatever.
Mortars.
Mortars.
Yeah, mortars. There you go. That's the
50
proper
gram
term.
mortars.
And something I found out about those is that your neighbors don't like you doing those at 3 in the morning
No.
No, they
on the
don't.
4th of July. And I had me and Mike were out in the front yard and blowing a few off here and there, big ones. And the neighbor from down the block,
Not next door.
no,
the
not
block.
next door, from down at the end of the circle, Todd, he came up and he looked at me and he goes, could you please fucking stop that now? And he turned around and walked away. That was it.
Just
Yeah, those
Making
neighbors,
it
they're
a
not
trip.
as
Let's just
understanding as they
hammer
used to
it.
be.
Yeah, and so I stopped and that was it. So, anyways, he was very upset.
It was a legitimate.
Very upset. He was very upset, but he
Ah.
didn't call the cops. So, anyways,
that guy's cool.
nah, he wasn't cool.
No, the people 4 blocks away were calling the cops.
What do you got, Jeff?
How expensive are mortars now?
I don't know. I haven't bought in any.
So
They're
the
just
ones that I
crazy.
would buy, and I went to North Dakota to purchase my illegal fireworks for Minnesota, but they're limited to 50 grams, and it comes in this ball with this big long fuse on it, and you throw it down the reinforced cardboard tube, the paper towel tube times 20, and we would buy them by the case. The whole fire department would, and we would put them off, and it was just, we called them thumpers. But anyway, as a kid, unrelated, somewhat related, I always remember in the top drawer of my dad's dresser, he had a silver sleuth. It was silver. It was about a half-inch in diameter. It was about 2 inches, about inch and a half long, with a green.
I do have to ask. I don't know what a sleuth is.
Silver sleuth was like an M80,
Oh,
but not as powerful. And with a green corded fuse, stiff. And that was only about 3/4 of an inch long that stuck out of the top. And it sat in his top dresser drawer for
Mark can relate to that.
the whole time I was a child.
that's my wallet.
The whole time I was a child, that thing was in his top drawer.
I never saw
And,
it.
now I gotta ask a question.
Why was I going through Dad's top drawer?
What were you doing at Dad's top drawer?
Because his little King Edward penny thing was on the
There you go.
That's why.
Yeah, the
There
penny.
you go.
I wonder if he just stocked
You
quarters
didn't think I had
underneath
an
the
answer to
pennies.
that?
Like as we stole,
I'm
he kept
very
putting them in
familiar
there, you know?
with the penny.
No, you go up the
Very
penny-
familiar with
the
that.
penny was on the right, and the silver sleuth was on the left.
I used to
Very
pilfer
familiar.
mom's purse. This is not firework related, but I
Not a
used
lie,
to.
right?
I used to pull some of the bigger coins out of mom's purse.
Well, we're going somewhere now.
With the confidence of a serial killer.
That
Like,
nobody would find. She'd
yeah, I
never
mean, I
know.
guarantee she's probably watching me do it, and
How old were you?
Oh, Bob.
Old enough to
Bob,
know better.
23?
I
probably senior year college. No, I'm just kidding.
I was 5, and I
When you started
went into
stealing?
my mom's purse and took
that's
a
it down.
nickel and went over to the corner
When
store.
you were 5, a nickel was worth like $20.
Well, it was,
I went over to the corner store and bought it.
and I went over and bought little, kits.
Yeah.
little kits, and so I want to be, cared
that-
about by brother and sister. So
I'm sorry, what
course.
are kits?
Little candy.
It sounds like
Kit-
sixlets.
candy, like a little
I feel like
peanut butter.
sixlets.
Oh,
or something.
little kits.
Kits.
Candy kits.
Yeah.
Like sicklets, the little
Yeah.
So
candy coated.
I had divided
M&Ms.
them up, but there was one that didn't divide evenly around the three, and so they were, that's mine, no, it's mine. And Mom comes in and says, what are you fussing about?
In the store?
Well, we have, no, at home.
Oh,
And, well, Ellie had candy.
Where'd you get money for that?
Well, where did you get that money, Eleanor? It was not Ellie then, Eleanor.
Ooh.
I said, I took a nickel out of your purse.
Wow.
That was I think my one and only hairbrush spanking over her
Ooh, a
knee.
hairbrush. Wow,
We
that's-
didn't get a hairbrush on the
I never
tailgate.
thought of taking a nickel out of anyone's purse.
My parents would have been impressed if I
only took a
didn't
nickel?
come up with a lie. They would have just said, "You actually admitted to stealing from us."
You would have
Also-
disappointed them telling
Also,
the truth.
Mom, do you think if you would have just ate that odd piece of
No, I
candy,
think I
there's
said
no
I did.
worries?
First, I think I said I found it.
Oh,
Where
there
did you
go.
find it? Where did you find it? In your purse.
Wow, we can maybe for the next time we get all of us together, we can talk about the hugest lie we told Mom and Dad. But I
you
remember
would've
that
got
corner store. Is it the same corner
Can't relive
store?
it.
Mom, is it the same corner store
No, you
that
can't.
we
Yes,
would go to?
yes,
Oh
yes.
my gosh, you literally could buy,
Yes.
even when we were growing up, penny candy. You could
Okay.
buy penny candy.
So I have a story about that store, which is I remember we went there, we bought our candy, and I had this new wallet. I think it was a tandy leather wallet that I had to like sew together. Remember that's from another episode? And it had a little coin thing in it.
Oh yeah.
And there was like a window. It was an old timey store, and it had like a big front window. And I was putting my change back in my stupid wallet, and the guy thought I was stealing shit. And he came over. He goes, "What are you doing over here?" And I'm like, "I put my money." But I was like, I was real sensitive to not wanting to steal shit after that because I did not like how the storekeeper treated me after that. So anyhow, so
We all had a neighborhood store. Ours was called Jiffy.
ours was in Rochester. We had a neighborhood store, but it wasn't very close to the house.
IGA.
It's called IGA, International Grocers. Do you ever IGAs up in the cities or no?
I don't remember. We had Red Owl up here.
That was too long a walk. We had one too, but that was way at the
Yeah,
end.
this was like kind of. I mean, it was probably like a convenience store without gas
That's
pumps.
our Jiffy was a convenience
It
store
was kind
without
of like
gas
a.
pumps.
This
Yeah,
was like a.
you wouldn't. I don't know if they had a meat counter or anything.
No,
but you
no.
could buy
This-
like
This is like a
sandwich shit.
A toned
Yeah.
down Casey's without the gas
Yeah, that's what this was. The Jiffy was just
because they weren't making.
you could get
pizzas at the
milk
IGA.
or water.
We had some friends that would go into that store and come out with a hell of a lot of inventory. And because I was very scarred by the corner store in Cincinnati, Ohio, off of Drakewood Drive, I never stole.
Wasson Road.
I never.
Wasson Road.
Well, okay, but I never stole crap. Like I was like, if I like accidentally got like they didn't charge me or something, I'd be like, "Oh hi," lay down on the ground, hands in the air, But it was bad. Anyway, my fireworks story is that I bought a lot of fireworks from Wisconsin when the kids were growing up, and I could have not done that because everybody bought fireworks. Remember the cul-de-sac?
The worst part about that was the cleanup the next morning.
Well,
there's
I had
shit everywhere.
Jason started wanting that done the night of, and I was kind of maybe it was you and me that were on the hook for, and just half the shit's like, shit's still hot.
I'm like, I swept the cul-de-sac. You know how hard it is to sweep a cul-de-sac?
They're bigger than
You
you
just
look.
keep going around in circles.
Well, you sweep and the thing just stays right where it is.
Because you're doing
If
a
I had a
bottle,
blower or
like
something,
a bottle rocket stick, you couldn't sweep those up for
no,
nothing.
they just
Well, yeah, but yeah, you sweep. You think you did a good job, and the next
So
day it's
you
like,
didn't
the
do
hell?
that again.
We did
for
until
like
the next
4
year.
years straight. I was out sweeping the cul-de-sac.
So I have okay, everybody. So now, lesson I learned is that why did I buy any? Because everybody else is going to buy them. I equated it to earmuffs, Mom. Like if you ever were in a gentleman's establishment, I'm not sure why they call it that.
I can still hear you.
Yeah, I know.
It's called a strip.
It's an
club.
expression, Mom. But where you would go sit next to the well-heeled people, people, the well-to-do folks, you can enjoy their fireworks, if you know what I'm talking about, without having to pay for your own, because that's what it felt like, because everybody else was buying fireworks.
I guess I don't understand what you mean.
Well, I'll tell you later.
You sit behind.
I'll
the
tell you
bar.
right now, everyone else listening does, and they know what you're doing. So,
Moving right along.
So there's that part of the story, which is why buy new when the neighbors will, hook you up and everything else. The other is that animals go crazy when the fireworks go off and stuff, and they have this thing. It's called thunder shirt.
Abusive.
Still fun.
No, it's not.
Do
Still
squirrels?
fun.
That's why we took Tipper to the fireworks
with.
with us.
I think that squirrels have sex just to take their minds off the anxiety of the fireworks going off. But they have this thing called the thunder shirt, which to me sounds like Spanx for animals. So I want to buy a couple of thunder shirts because they hug to make you feel like
You're safe.
For the
You're
dog or
comforted?
for you?
You're safe.
no. For me, I want to buy.
Next time we
I
film,
want to have human thunder shirts so my gut looks smaller at the 4th of July.
As you light off,
Because I'll go, it's for the anxiety.
scare the crap out of the
It'll
dogs.
like squeeze my gut.
I think we should buy you
No.
a Chihuahua type thunder shirt and have you wear it next time we film.
A Chihuahua? I think I'm more of a.
No, you're not.
I'm more of a maybe.
Elephant, baby. Elephant?
I was going to go for a Labrador, you dick. But yeah, okay, we can do that. Steve. It's like Steve.
That's my one shot the whole show. Let me have it.
It rang true, and it's the winner. Ding, 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 ding.
I have
ding.
another question to pose to the group here.
Do we go?
Mom's got
what do
another
you got?
podcast to record with tonight.
Dad still has to take me and go back home.
What'd you call him?
I mean,
She said dad. She
Yeah,
definitely
that's
said dad.
right. I'm your dad.
All right, well, let's let the therapy
Who's your-
session begin.
Who's your daddy?
I
All
told
right.
you not to tell people that, Mom.
All right, well,
Who's your
cripes.
dad?
Well,
that was a slip of the tongue.
here, I'll do this. This will be. Well, nobody else wants to curl up in the fetal position under the table.
I'm
but-
already there. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
Jeff, make room for me. Mark? I mean, Dad. I'm so confused. So, anyway, all right, I'm going to change the mood considerably here. If we're going to go around the table, if you haven't thought about it already, start thinking about what is the one animal that you would not want to have responsible for your demise? What animal would you not want to be killed by? You
I'm
want
on
to
it.
start?
I'm on it.
What do you got?
Albino ferret.
Well, this is a good. This
Instant.
is
and I do it. I do it immediately.
Is there a background story to
Hang on.
this?
Yeah.
There will be.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yes.
Here's the little red-eyed, beady-eyed bastard.
Well,
albino
tell the
ferret.
people about the ferret before you tell them the story,
No,
Jeff.
it's just a little red-eyed.
Okay, when we were
beady-eyed
kids-
You seem a little
albino.
angry at the ferret.
Yeah, when we
No,
were kids.
this-
Oh, that was
No.
excellent.
Show-
It was
show 'em,
excellent.
No, this is.
Show
When we
him-
I
were
got it right
kids,
here.
show 'em
we-
your scar.
Right here.
we had
Farm animal.
my dad had access to a rehab zoo, and this rehab zoo,
Oxbow Park.
this park had like certain animals that sometimes they wanted adopted. We adopted a ferret, an albino ferret. A ferret is like a little weasel. I only
yeah.
remember one.
We had a brown one too. They
While the ferrets were living in our house, they were kind of fun until
So the whole family's
that fair?
downstairs
Is it
and
just
we're
me?
watching Ed Sullivan or whatever the hell's on TV. And I'm sitting back and did we have two recliners downstairs?
You were in a recliner. That
I was
can
in a
guarantee
recliner
you.
and I'm
You were in the
surprised
Archie Bunker
because
chair.
David F had her. Anyway, so I got this ferret down in my lap and how old was I, Mom?
About 12.
Old enough to bleed, that's for sure.
So anyway, this ferret is sitting in my lap, and I have a habit of like cleaning my teeth as I, do a little. You suck in with your tongue, kind of
I think
between the
Chris isn't
gaps in
here.
your teeth, and I
It's a
did
family favorite
And
for
the-
Chris.
and I did that, and the ferret was not paying
That was
any
excellent.
attention to me whatsoever until I did that, and he spun around and he looked me dead in the eye, and this little beady-eyed, red-head fucking albino ferret just immediately launched himself and lopped on. His bottom fangs went into 2 nostrils, and his top fangs came down on. Couldn't have been a better hit. I mean, this dude had. And then I'm like, ah! And then I grabbed the ferret.
Yeah, that wasn't the best move to pull away.
Well, so now I got my hands locked around his waist on top of his hind legs, and this thing is stretched out to about a foot, and he ain't letting go of my nose. And
It was
bastard
not good.
ferret,
Can I ask a question? Were Jim and Steve
they
also-
witnessed it.
I saw
Oh,
it.
They
I
witnessed
saw
it.
it.
Yeah.
So
This is
did
for-
they at first
Didn't
laugh
help me.
or help?
No, not even a little did they help.
I'll ask
They
Jim
laughed.
first.
They laughed.
Did you laugh or did you help?
I was probably shocked, but I was
Good
laughing, I was
political
laughing on the
answer.
inside.
No,
I
they
know
laughed.
Steve laughed because he's
I'm
laughing
no-
now. still.
I remember that story a
I'm
little
not used to Jeff
different.
dead, so I kept out of it.
But I tell the story occasionally too, and this is what I remember. He was sitting in the chair. He was like petting this thing. I don't remember the tooth thing, but all of a sudden this thing goes running right up and bites him on the nose and like goes right back down, and there's just blood everywhere, flying everywhere.
No, I hung on to the ferret like this. I
Hey,
distinctly
Bob?
remember that.
Can we not play with the phone during the podcast?
Yeah, what,
Is
you
it-
got something else going? You got
I'm sorry, these childhood stories. It's your 88th birthday. We're having you on for that.
Yeah, well, she's
Put your
trying.
phone down.
She's doing research on which animal she would want to be.
Can I just
killed
say this
by.
about the whole ferret thing? I was going for Komodo dragon. That's what I don't want to get killed by. So
I'm going to say boa constrictor.
oh, that would suck. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you know
no, it's like I go, what animal would you not want to kill by? Jeff's like, well, the one that bit me when I was 12. No, so
So, could you imagine a ferret ravaging your body to death? No, I don't want that at all.
I don't
I'm
think
sorry.
I would worry at all because
I'd rather
I would
rather have a boa constrictor.
I would dispatch the ferret. The Komodo dragon. I've been watching some videos
Ferret could
recently.
take days. You could
There's
take
the
days.
ones with the baby squirrels, and that we've already talked about that dilemma. But a Komodo dragon, yeah, they bite you. If they don't get you and just eat you in one bite, you'll die a horrible infection death later.
Yeah, but this ferret's still at it 3 days later.
Well, like a boa, they squeeze you, but they don't always kill you right away.
No, mom knows.
Mom knows.
She's
That's what she was
I
looking
think
up.
mom could get squeezed by a boa constrictor. The boa constrictor will.
No,
Well,
she's
there's
got
nothing there.
Hell no, she's
Move
got
on.
that frog hat on.
Never
I
in
ain't
all
doing
my
that.
whole life have I been asked what animal do you.
Well, that's
would
That's
you
why
not
we come to
want
the
Mom, I
podcast.
could tell you it's a
Ascertainer's
first-
brand.
It's a
I'm
first
just
Yeah.
racking
week.
my brain.
Mark, I saw a boa constrictor spit out. I think it was actually an anaconda because of the
It was an anaconda. I saw.
Okay, and
because of the markings on its head. But it swallowed like this giant bird, and it was like and
He Ralph the
it
Regurgitator.
looked like, oh, this is just the reverse of the, you know what I mean? Like,
back
but it
right.
came out and it was all kind of
No.
had like slime on it, like
And
it
this
was
thing was
being
about
processed.
7/8 of the way down. I mean, basically just the feet were sticking out of the mouth, and he goes, and starts.
Don't anacondas and boas kill the same way?
constriction,
Yeah.
But then they got to eat it.
kind of like the ascertainers do.
And once
Am I
they,
right?
when they eat it, the anaconda jaw will actually open up to like 14 inches, and he can swallow.
No, it's 16,
14?
Jeff. It's 16.
I think it's more like a third of
No.
a meter.
No, it can. It can do a small deer. Hey, I watched Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I know what the hell
we did watch a lot of that as kids.
I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Steve, what's yours?
Mine would be a chimpanzee.
Oh, that would suck. Yeah.
You don't think you could take a chimp?
Nope.
No,
not
I
a
think you
chance.
No way.
No
I
way.
think
Haven't
you
you
could take
ever
a
heard
chimp.
of people having pet chimpanzees and the chimpanzee gets out and kills them?
I used to fear getting the shit bit out of your butt.
No, they bite the hell
The
out of
person
them.
that I was most scared about getting beat up by is afraid of a chimp.
The chimpanzee.
This is bullshit.
Google it. Google
This
it.
is
No,
crap.
those are they're scary.
I was
Google it.
going to say a gorilla.
They might look like that'd be. Oh, that would be.
Gorilla be over quick.
Actually, a silverback would be better than a chimp because it'd be you'd be less,
you'd be done.
less.
No, they slap you around. Chimps don't slap you around. They just start biting on you, and they're bad. They tell you apart. You gotta Google that. Do a little YouTube on that.
Yeah, but that ferret still be at it.
Go
3
do a
days
little
later.
YouTube on the little kid that gets mom and dad let the zoo let the kid get too close to the chimp cage over there in China or wherever that is. You Google that one. Yeah, it's not good. It's real
I'll
bad.
make sure I stay
China
away from
some
that.
Chinese
Yeah,
chips.
I'll make sure I stay away
China
from that
chimp.
cage.
It's a China chimp.
Well, I can hardly wait, Mark. How about you?
Well, you,
Maybe a good
you're-
cook.
He already
I said
did.
a boa.
Oh, you did what?
We
think they're
can't
all-
wait for
Oh,
you.
that's-
Mark was a boa. He didn't say it was a feather boa or like a whatever boa, but either way. Mark just did his hands.
that's a boa.
You see Jesse the Body
Ferret.
Ventura? Come on.
I don't know. Why don't you ask the boa why he killed me?
Why don't you tell me?
What was yours?
Why don't you tell me?
I had Komodo dragon.
Komodo dragon.
Yeah, I
that
don't
was
like
a weak
that.
effort.
I
That
would
was
say-
a
But no one
A
came up
gorilla.
with like army
What-
ants.
Ellie still
Well,
gotta go.
Yeah, what do you got? What?
I
What's
She
said
said
a
gorilla.
a gorilla?
Gorilla.
No, primate was already taken. You got to
No,
pick
no,
a new
no.
one.
That
I'll
wasn't
tell you,
one
I'll
of the
give you
rules.
okay.
That-
You get to reload. I'll go wolves. A pack of wolves, I think, would be
That'd be quick.
horrible.
That'd be quick too, Jim. That ferret is still gnawing on your ass 4 days later.
If you got
and you
eaten
ain't
by a
dead yet.
ferret, I've
That
lost all
ferret-
respect
No,
for
that
you.
ferret.
I would be scared
win.
of like a parakeet because it'd be so long.
would be
It'd like
way-
20 years
that
for it
would
to
be-
peck you to death.
You know what they say?
That would be longer than my ferret.
You know what they
that's
say?
for
They
sure.
say, like, for domestic pets, they say that a dog will wait for days until the dog is, like, to the edge of starvation
And then
before
he'll
they
eat his
eat you.
owner.
But a cat,
Will eat you right away.
like 20 minutes later, like, you could be taking a nap and the cat's like, taking a test on your ear.
Not as
And,
bad as that ferret.
There have
Yeah.
been people
All right,
with like
hey.
diabetes that have been.
We're gonna
their toes
call the
have been
veterinarian
eaten
because
by
that
Die.
joke has
Oh, no,
died.
they're alive,
It's still good.
Oh.
It's still
but the toes are dead. The diabetics, and they have animals like cats.
That will eat their dead toes?
Yes.
That's actually great because sometimes insurance doesn't cover that. You gotta get, you know what? I bet Blue Cross has a whole, I bet they have a whole kennel of cats. It's like, oh, we're going on insulin? Well, let's get them a couple
No,
of
I think
cats,
that's.
too.
I got that on my insurance. Cat eating
you
my
got the
dead
cat
toes.
one? Yeah, that's good.
I
know,
got
told
coverage.
you. You got the bronze plan, in other words.
Yeah,
You got
here's your prescription for insulin, and this is your new house cat.
Okay, this was on my list as well. What do you? I want to know what you guys think about this idea because Jeff will somehow turn into a ferret story. Did you know that Viagra was invented
For heart problems.
accidentally? It was a side effect for a heart condition.
No, it's actually
I
a
did
blood.
know
it
that.
was
Side
actually-
effect.
That's
There we go.
Keep going,
You're on answer. The whole world's gonna know what you're saying here, Jeff.
Mr.
so keep-
FYI. Keep going.
Keep going.
To know the medication name? It's
No.
called sildenafil. Just
I
say it.
do.
It's called sildenafil.
Jeff seems to be an expert on this drug.
Yes. Well,
This is what you
not
get-
This
That
is
was a
not
bad.
going to be
for the
worth the payoff. But
for our ascertainers listeners.
no, don't.
This is
even.
what you get when you have a family on a podcast. I think it's wonderful.
I don't think
it's-
that this will be in the podcast either. I will not sign off on your even thing. Let's just like make it like
Where
like,
were we exactly?
make it like it didn't happen.
I don't know.
Where were we exactly?
Well, I was trying to. Jeff is cut.
I probably will leave everything in.
I would
can't
too.
wait. I cannot fucking wait.
I would.
Anyway, Viagra was not. It was an accidental drug, and it was for people like they were testing it, like probably how they find out like shark cum is good for. It's like who even thought that might be a thing? Sorry.
Well, don't knock it till you
Okay.
tried it.
So my point,
What is the thing that you get from
Word.
whale placenta?
Okay, hey Jeff. Mark. Let me finish
Come
this
from
off
that.
here real quick.
Sorry.
Dad.
What I was going for was that I thought, okay, since that was kind of like a product that was an accidental product, but now they know, we know exactly what it does. I think that like Medicare, especially, you know, times are tough, that if you're an old guy and you're on a blood pressure medication, that they should just throw one of those pills in just for a day. So that when you take your, you just like, oh, I took my meds, and then every 30 days, 1 out of 30 days, you got like a raging heart on. What? I thought that would be like, wow,
It's like winning the lottery.
kind of worth it.
What if Mom's got any comments about this? at
Mark's
all?
got his hand really high up.
Don't get stressed. Just whatever comes out in the podcast. Oh, phrasing. Just let it happen.
Mark has been the chief therapist. Mark has his glasses down at the end of his nose. He's wearing a blazer with patches on the elbows. And he's smoking a pipe. But anyway, and I cannot wait to get his bill. So, Mark's right. We've had some inter-family trauma turbulence here.
Oh,
That's not the Ascertainer's brand.
Every
Jeff, I
family-
apologize for jumping down your throat.
Every family is the same.
Okay. Oh, let's get yours on.
No,
That's
they
right.
hate
They
me.
won't come down. That's. I don't
So
think
I
they
love the
hate
love
you.
here.
But Mark does come to our house on the holidays, if you noticed. Which I, for one, does anybody recall
Absolutely.
what? Tell me one thing you remember about Mark on Thanksgiving when he comes over. Describe Mark.
Do you want? He
Yeah.
likes to drink beer.
What does he wear?
He wears a white shirt and tie.
What does he wear? I never.
No.
I don't
He
look at
comes
guys
over,
that
he doesn't-
closely. to
he
He comes
remember
over in
things
a
like
tie.
Steve,
He's very
I'm hurt.
formal.
And his tie is
I'm
tied.
very hurt.
Very
I don't
formal.
know.
I thought you always
Notice.
were fixated on me when I walked
Hey,
in the
Steve,
door.
ask Mark the last time he lived in
Well,
Laramie.
that's where you're wrong, Mark.
Last time
See
what?
what's on his shirt? It says, what's it say?
Oh,
Laramie
Prevention of Child
County
Abuse.
Council.
Laramie, Wyoming. When did you live in Laramie, Mark? I'll get you a shirt.
I
can sell them here,
I
too.
can get you a shirt.
That's 20 years old, minimum.
28 years old.
Nice.
And it's still white. How do you keep your white so white? Don't say it.
Ancient.
Ancient Native American secret. Okay, Mark's
He only busts it out for special occasions.
That's time to.
Mark's Native American.
Mom says,
Do you
No.
describe yourself as Native American or no? I mean,
I describe myself as a loser. But other than that, I don't care.
okay.
well, Mark,
Interesting.
you're the classiest loser I've ever known.
Wow.
No, it's just weird because I agree with you 100%. I think your self awareness is
Admirable.
It's refreshing. Yes, it's darn near. What's the name of that one drug again? Yeah. Anyway, give me that same effect.
Still
So let's the Slav.
I liked it when you pointed your finger up. What was that one drug?
Yeah, look at it. It's like,
as opposed to this. What was
how about the
that
one? The one they use a bent carrot. Really? Mom, you haven't heard from you in a while. What's going on with you? You got high blood pressure. Hey, what if we threw one of those pills in? No, nothing. How's your high blood pressure, Mom?
I'm not. I don't take.
They give you a
just
pill?
a little tiny hydrochlorothiazide. Not expensive. That's the only prescription drug I take.
That's it.
I
You
think
have
you
one
should-
pill,
One pill.
and
a
you're
day.
going to be how old on Wednesday?
I'll be 88.
88.
God bless you.
When your sons get together, you probably should take, what is that, Xanax? Or
She should
something,
probably
or
snort 'em.
something?
Get
Valium?
right in there.
Because
No,
No.
Valium. Oh, yeah.
that would be...
We'll leave that one alone.
They really, as I said, Dad and I. No, you're not Dad. I don't know why.
Well, I kind of like it.
That's 3 times.
You guys need to go to bed now.
Mark, put your blazer back on. Oh, did Steve just send us to bed?
You guys got to go to bed.
Yeah,
And you're
Mom can
grounded on
talk.
top of it tomorrow.
Just don't spank me on the side of the freeway there, Pops. It'll be fine.
I'm taking my frog hat and going home.
But you were saying about your sons.
As I said, Dave and I.
She's making up for this
I
broadcast.
think
You're just Steve now.
we just did it a day at a time, and we had ups and downs, but I would say we had, generally speaking, a blessed life.
Would you say the generations are different? Younger guys are probably having kids now. Do you see a difference? You think we could do better, or
personally, I am a believer, and God is not moved. But the farther we move, the worse it gets, and that's what's happened. We've moved away.
Huh?
That God never moves. That's the problem.
As Americans, or as a world, or as educationally,
As our faith journey.
okay, I would say that. Can you imagine? So your grandkids, your great grandkids, will have access to. Do you remember when we were growing up? If you wanted to look something up, you had to go into Jeff's closet to find the
Britannica.
World Book Encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia.
And then was there Childcraft or something like that? Was it for little kids?
Would that have been dated to where we had flat Earth, literally?
Well, literally, it was like kind of like
No, it's in there.
instead of saying like 1770, it said the other day. You know, it was like, those things were so out of date. But no, so your great grandchildren at age whatever. What does Emma have a phone or no?
No.
Jackson has a phone.
Grandkids. Those are grandkids.
Ellie's great grandchild.
So your oldest grandchild
It's going to be 9.
is who? Is it Jackson?
No.
Jackson.
That's your great grandkid.
Great.
Great grandchild. And Jackson has a phone.
Okay, so Jackson will have in his hand
more knowledge.
so much information. I personally don't think that the human brain,
They shouldn't have it.
my brain isn't capable of handling all the crap that's
Well, you
available.
know,
They
I
shouldn't-
love Facebook, but what sometimes pops up on that, I think.
Well,
give
Mom, you
me
got
a
it again.
break. I
Can-
mean, it's just nasty.
Well, Mom, you are a serial commenter, and that's not why we brought you on the podcast tonight. But while we're at it, you don't have to comment on any. You can go a whole day. I like it because I'm like, oh, Mom's still alive. Because she commented on some chicken that's got a cough in South Carolina.
yeah, you're seeing the same stuff I am.
It's like, feel bad for the chicken.
But hey,
Pretty okay for Mom.
Mom's still
That's
sitting
good.
around.
That's why we don't call.
Ready to go, huh?
Mom, that's why I don't call you as
no.
often. If you just would not post on Facebook for like 3 days,
You're stuck.
everybody you know would call you. Hey, Mom, everything okay?
No, as I said, I really do like my
Facebook is good
my
for you.
Facebook.
Oh,
well,
it keeps you
but-
engaged.
You got to
you're-
take the
you're-
good with the bad.
Family.
but you have a fully
Family.
developed brain. The
With
kids
family.
today don't. I don't think that the human brain has evolved as fast as all the crap that's coming at it has. It's not the kids' faults. That it's like, oh, they're whatever. And it's like, well,
The kids today.
can you even put your brain around? Like, when I heard what Netflix was, I'm like, what now? Or a DVR. Just generally, a DVR.
DVR was cool.
So
when that
you're
first
telling me you could what? But if you told her about a VCR, she'd be like, "So I can see a feature like what in my house? What? I mean, it's
We knew what a
think it's
VCR was because David F. always had the Channel 5 Eyewitness News camera up on his shoulder during family events filming.
and just so you know, my buddy Ange, we talked about him on possibly this or
That
previous
was this one.
podcast.
It was this one.
He filmed my buddy Ange's wedding, and their photographer didn't have film with the camera or something.
I was going to say press.
So
Didn't push
they
play.
would have saved the day because of his amateur photography. They had
It backed on that.
they had a backup that worked very well and all good.
We're going to do the Minnesota goodbye now on the podcast.
I thought we'd been doing that for the last 20 minutes.
This is the Ascertainers. Thank you for listening. You can get a hold of us on Facebook,
Very formal.
YouTube. We have an email address at theascertainers@gmail.com. Any of the platforms that you listen to us on, all 34 of you, I think that's how many people listen to it. But
It's aggressive.
it isn't aggressive.
I heard
But
your-
you can text us.
If
your
everybody
number
tells
2 in Anguilla.
if everybody tells 2 friends, maybe. But,
But thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
thanks.